My name is Mike. Back in May 2021, I bought my first e-bike. Me and my wife went to a local e-bike store, or actually it was a e-bike rental store on the beach in Daytona Beach, Florida. And we test rode the Ad Motor e-bike, and we fell in love with them. We bought 2 of them. And then a few months later, I think it was June or so, July, I bought a new e-bike, it was only $860 with tax, and that is the ECOTRIC 48 volt fat tire folding bike. And kind of wanted to go over a little bit of stuff with it, the things that I liked, the things that I didn't like, and yeah, so without further ado, here we go. Okay, so here is the ECOTRIC 48 volt 13 amp hour battery e-bike, and the fat tire e-bike. I think it's 20-inch wheels by 4-inch, and on the website it looks a little small, but compared to my other fat tire folding e-bike, the Ad Motor, it is a little bit smaller, and I will say that it is definitely lighter. This one's about 50 something pounds, and whereas my Ad Motor e-bike is 72 pounds, so this one's a little bit lighter. And if we take the battery out, it's like 40, I want to say about 43, 44 pounds or so. So it's easier for me to pick it up and put it in the truck. So here are the things that I didn't like about the bike. First off is the brakes. So the brakes are squilly, and even after breaking them in, when I first bought the e-bike, they were still very squealy. Okay, so I turned the bike around a little bit so we can get a better look at it. So the brand on the brakes are just called ECOTRIC. And then you can see the 160 millimeter rotor. And I got the blue version, which is the blue tires. And so on the front brake here, I replaced them with new brake pads, and still the squealing and, you know, like a grinding, squealing noise even after breaking them in, so may have to change the rotor out. And then the back brakes, same thing, ECOTRIC version, and 160 millimeter, I believe, rotors. But yeah, the brakes themselves, the back brakes are a lot quieter than the front brakes, but yeah, I may have to get a new rotor for the front. And then of course you have the ECOTRIC logo that comes down the side here, and then it just says Power Sport, and then right here is where it folds. And then of course on the handlebars will fold down. And in this version, unlike the previous 36 volt, it comes with the S900 display. So I'm not sure if I have the power on. Let me turn the power on. So to turn the power on, we're just going to kick the key over. And then as soon as I do that, as you can see, I bought a little voltage meter so that I could tell how much power was actually in the battery, and that way when I ride I know exactly how much I have, versus the let me turn this on, versus the S900 display, which the battery voltage doesn't really, like, it'll go down 20% before the first bar, maybe 30, yeah, 30% before the first bar goes away, whereas with this I can get a more accurate reading, including the voltage. And I have a link in the description below if you're interested. And this works on pretty much any e-bike. This is the 48 volt version here. So this bike comes with the 7-speed Shimano shifter. This is the same shifter that's on my ad motor bike, and you can just shift through, shift down, shift back up, and of course gear 7 there is your highest, which I found that pedaling at 20 miles an hour was fine. I could still kind of keep up with it. And for the extra stuff, I did buy a light, pretty bright, as you can see, pretty bright light there, and it has a low and then a flashing and then off, and that was probably right around $15–20, but has definitely come in handy at night because this bike does not come with a headlight. It just comes with a front and rear reflector. So it comes with a rear reflector, however I did not put it on there. I ended up with that headlight. You get a, let me see if I can turn this on. You get a pretty bright light that has a few different modes, you know, for riding at night. The bike does not come with a rack. So on Amazon, I found one that was close, not really designed for this bike. However, it had I think a 20 something pound limit on it, you know. So that's all I would ever need. And I had to modify it just a little bit. I went to the hardware store and I bought some basically U brackets here and just put a bolt through them and tightened it down, and it has been really good. The rack has, you know, it's been very stable. It's on the bike real good. And then of course I attached my crate, which is also on the ad motor. And what we like about this is that you can keep it like this and you can put stuff on top of it and then put bungee cords over the top. Or if you go to the grocery store, you can just pop this up. See if I can do this with one hand. Okay, and you push in the sides like this, and then now you have a crate which you can put your groceries into it. And then yeah, it's been this part right here is one of the best things that we bought. To attach it, I just put some tie straps, and I just strapped it to the rack itself, you know, and all the like 4 corners here, and it's been really stable. I put a full basket of groceries in it, and it's been good. Okay, so for the battery itself, it is just like the ad motor battery. It locks into place. There is a little locking mechanism right here, and when you push the key in, it turns, it unlocks the battery so you can pull it out. So when you want to pull the key, the battery is locked in from a little tab that comes out right here, a little metal tab. And then if you want to take the battery out, you do like that. And then here, we just take the seat out and then grab a hold of the handle, lift it up, and just pull the battery right out. So one of the reasons why I chose this bike was not only for the price, but also because of the fact that the battery is the same battery that's in my ad motor bike. So I can switch them in and out. I can take my ad motor battery with me, which is a 16 amp hour, and this one, and get more than 50 miles range. And this battery, I did a range test, and I'll put a link to it below. So the next thing that we have is the derailleur. It is the Shimano derailleur, 7-speed, and it has been fine. I had to adjust it just a little bit. It wasn't moving all the way up to the highest gear, But once I adjusted it, it was fine. And the same thing for the rack. I had to do the same thing on this side. Just kind of get like a little U-bracket and mount the rack onto the frame there. Okay, so the next thing is the seat. Did not really care for the seat. It might work out for some, but I had this particular seat on my ad motorbike, and it's really wide, as you can tell. It's a really wide seat, very comfortable, very cushiony, and I loved it so much that I purchased one for this bike because I was just taking the seat off my ad motorbike and swapping it in and out. When I wanted to ride this bike, I would just use that seat, and so I decided just to go ahead and purchase this seat, and which is also a link below if you're interested. So the next things were the pedals. They come with folding pedals, but they slide, like if your feet get a little wet. I found that my feet just kind of slide off of them. So I did upgrade the pedals on this. So the first version of the pedals from a different company, they started making a clicking sound inside where the bearing's at, like it was going to fall out. So I did have to send those back, and that's when I got these. And I've had these for a couple of weeks now, and they have been really good. I haven't had any clicking or noises. So like I said earlier, the bike does fold. If you wanted to, you would pull this lever like this, and then pull it back, and then lift it up like this, and then you would fold the bike. So let me put my tripod up and I'll fold this real quick. We're going to go ahead and unclamp this, and then pull this, and then pick this up so that it unlocks. And then we're just going to twist this all the way around like this. And then we have the little thing you got to pull up right here on the side. Pull this down, and there you go. So the bike is now folded. I don't really fold the bike too much, you know. We have an extra room that we put it in, so I don't really fold it. So to put the bike back, I found it easier to go ahead and pull this up, click this down, make sure that it's locked, and then this part like this, and then we're going to pull this up, make sure it's locked into place, push it, and then make sure this part's secure. So this bike comes with a 500-watt motor, and as you can see, it's branded as ECOTRIC CP. Not sure what that means, but it does have a pretty good bit of power during takeoff. And my cat, she gets excited whenever I record videos, as you can tell. So she's like my biggest fan. So the motor does have a pretty good bit of power. I've had no problems with it. And there's something that I just didn't really care for. And it's a little bit different than on my ad motorbike. But let's say that you have the bike on and you have it in, say, PAS 1. So pedal assist mode 1. And you do the throttle like all the way. It's only going to go up to predefined speed, like say 8 miles an hour, and that's it. And then you go to pedal assist 2 and you get to go to 12 or so, and then 15, and then 17, and then 5 would be, since it has 5 levels of pedal assist, you would go the Fastest I've got it is like 22.5 or so miles an hour. But that's one thing I did not like, is that the throttle is controlled by the pedal assist, and I didn't really like that. So my solution was to come in here to to where the controller is, take out these 4 screws, and then I unhooked the cadence sensor, which is the little magnet. Let me see if I can get a better shot of it. Okay, so this little device right here just kind of watches to see if you are pedaling, and then applies throttle as you're pedaling. So this little wire that comes into the controller box here, I just found where it was at and unplugged it. So now whenever I pedal, it does nothing to the throttle, and if I want to give it more, more power, I just use the throttle. So that keeps it from having the surges where you go to pedal and you're in like 3 or 4, and it wants to get you all the way up to like 12 or 15 miles an hour, and you may not want to go that fast. For me, just using the throttle without any pedal assist has been really good, because I can pedal at my own leisure, and if I need a little help, I'll just add some throttle to it. And on my other bike, which I have not put it on here, I do have a cruise control where it just hits against the brake lever, and wherever you put the throttle, it just lays right here and keeps you at the same speed. So I will definitely be putting one of those on here. But for the most part, this is my around town bike. Like if I want to go to the store, which is like 3.5 miles, so 7 miles round trip, I'll just jump on this bike and take it. So the tires that are on this are the Chaoyangs, and they are 20 by 4, and I've had no issues with them. They have been fine. I know some users, I believe, have reported that they get flat tires pretty consistently, but I live here in Florida, so not really many thorns and other stuff like that. However, there's always the chance that you could run over a nail or something else, but so far they've been good. So for the money, would I buy this bike? Yes. I still have it. I've had it for a month or so, and have about 120 miles on it or so, 130. I can't remember, but it has been a really good bike for around town, and I've even taken it on long rides, brought an extra battery with me, and it's been really good. Top speed, like I said, 22, 23 miles an hour roughly, without pedaling, so not bad. I find myself that most of the time I ride right around 15, 17 miles an hour roughly, so the 22.5 was fine for me. All right, well, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.